YouTube Retro God back with another one, fam. Yo, you already know what it is. Today's episode, we're looking at the Kamikaze 2 in the Blackflash red. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button for your man them. You already know, punch it in the throat, whatever you gotta do. Anyways, we're gonna take a look at these hoes, throw them on the turntable, make them do the salsa for us, and you already know, man, tear them apart and see what they're made of and if they're really as quality as they're supposed to be, because these came out in 2012, so yeah, they're like 10 years old. Anyways, without further ado, let's head to the turntable, fam. Alright, YouTube, let's take a look at these beauties right here. The Reebok Kamikaze 2 in the Blackflash red colorway. Very rare, super dope, man. This is one of my personal pairs, so it is what it is. They're a little bit dirty, but we're about to review them anyways. Let's take a look at the upper. So as you notice here, there's not much to it. I mean, you know, it's basically a nubuck upper, and these shoes released in like 2012, so these are easily 10-year-old shoes, and you know, I keep my shits clean, man. I baby my joints. The Kamikazes are one of my favorite shoes. Don't ask me why it took me so long to do another episode on these, especially in red and black. Those are my colorways, fam. They just are. Here you have two types of nubuck here. This is basically more of a Durabuck on the Reebok Zigzag on the Sean Kemp, and this is actually a very regular nubuck. It's one of the older style nubucks, and you know what I mean. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just one of those things where it's not textured like this area here. This really feels like what you might find on the Jordan 6, and you know, it's an interesting shoe. Now, if you guys missed my original Kamikaze 2 video, make sure you guys go check that out. It's actually one of the first videos I ever did on my channel, so excuse me for you know, it might be a little bit subpar, but yo, it was like my first video, fam. Man's was still figuring this shit out. Wicked color blocking. You can never go wrong with a black and red shoe, and especially one that stands out with such a beautiful design as this. Obviously, you have a double zigzag here on the midsole and on the outer. This design is one of the most recognizable designs in all of shoes. Definitely one of the best type of silhouettes to ever come out. Every time you see this on court, bro, you have to recognize and pay homage, eh? Reebok branding right here on the side of the toe box area. It's basically a polyurethane midsole, very well built and structurally sound. You could play in these outdoors all day and not even see any kind of sole wear. Pretty standard shoe. All 90s shoes are very basic in tech. Now, these shoes have a lot of court feel simply because, you know, there's not much tech. They got the old style hexalite here, and that's really cool. It looks a bit different than the new style hexalite. I think this is somewhere in between the brand new hexalite and the really old, actually functional tech hexalite, because this stuff looks a little bit better than the new Kamikazes. Yup, a lot of court feel on these, a lot of court feel. You know, if you're used to your LeBrons and all that springy, bouncy zoom tech, then these might not be for you. I like a lot of court feel, fam. It is what it is. I'm a defensive player. But anyways, here on the toe box, you have another short-haired nubuck here, and I don't think it's Durabuck. I think it's the same material as here, but just black. Some perforation holes in the toe box and some double stitching along to set up some design. Regular black laces leading into a mesh tongue, and you know, the lacing here is really functional. It does a good job, and you know, you can always swap out laces or whatever, but I wouldn't recommend it. Reebok branding right on the tongue and a Durabuck as well. You know, I figure on these old shoes, the Reebok and the branding is very sharp. That's one thing that I noticed. And here you have the trademark symbol on both the Reebok and the Vector, which is pretty funny. Here on the tongue, you have a pull tab on the front and the back to help you get the shoes on. You know, you kind of open it up, put them on, and you know, it slips in really nice. I don't get it why these are so slept on, man. These are one of the wickedest designs. Bro, when you're walking down the street, man's half a look upon you. You just can't go wrong with the Kamikazes, and they're cheap. The inner consists of a textile, and you know, it's a bit of padding in here. It doesn't seem like it, but it really is a really comfortable shoe. These are one of the best feeling shoes when you put them on your feet. I love a lot of court feel, and you know, these ones really do the trick. They're actually high top, so they do ride up high, and these shoes definitely look good in jeans. Now you can see a lot of perforation holes on the side and the back, and that's, you know, just to help to keep your foot from getting that dirty, crusty, nasty stank toe that we all hate, especially on them hot days, man. Decently light shoes, and you know, they are good for ball, they're good for casual use, man. The design is so out there. Shawn Kemp playing in the league, it's like these shoes you just can't miss on court, man. You just can't miss them. Fam, this is a real red. You don't usually get reds like this. Usually it's some kind of weird, you know, infrared or whatever. This Blackflash red is a real red, fam. On the back we have another Reebok Vector logo, a decent back to the shoe. Always looks really cool. These are one of my favorite shoes in general, man. There's so many red and black shoes out, man. It's basically half of my shoes are red and black, so something gotta go. But anyways, man, these Shawn Kemp's second signature shoe. On the outsole, you have a red tip on the front of the outsole. You got a Reebok Vector here. And as I said, these are my personal pairs, so they're a bit worn. Hexalite branding right underneath that. And you know, you got the trademark symbol here as well. Big doofy Hexalite window on the bottom of the outsole, and you got non-marking rubber polyurethane outsole. I don't know what's going on with that Hexalite situation. Reebok needs to figure that shit out. You know, I guarantee you at this point there's far more shoes that got fake Hexalite in it than normal Hexalite, or the new shit that they're putting in it, whatever that plastic shit is. Man, bring back the real Hexalite, man. The paint job here is okay, and usually that's a problem with red shoes. It's very hard to match the red upper with the red midsole, but they did an okay job here. The lines are decently straight, and you know, that's a problem with some of the newer models, man. The lines don't match up, and it's just not symmetrical. Now, with this pair, they did release a another version of a black and red, and it's, you know, I'll show you guys that in a second. Shawn Kemp does have another version of the shoe that looks similar, but it's not really similar. It actually has a bit of green on the midsole instead of the black, so I kind of like these ones better anyways, man. But it's not as hard as this, man. This is the hardest black and red they came out with. These are super rare. They haven't retroed these, and I don't know when they will. You know, Shawn Kemp doesn't get the respect he deserves, but these are real retros for real retro fans, man. Are you guys dip on the Kamikazes? Because me, I love these joints, man. Really a large amount of court feel. You stay really low, like, so if you're a fan of LeBron's and you like zoom and you like being propped up and standing and, you know, being high off the ground, these shoes might not be for you. But if you like a lot of court feel and you want to feel the ground and be connected to the ground, these are really good shoes. These shoes are actually designed for wide footers, so I mean, it's not like a LeBron where you have to go up half a size standard. You can pretty much get true to size and be alright with these, man. You know, these you're not gonna get no toe squish with these. They're slept on, man. These go for a really good price. I mean, not this colorway. This colorway is actually mad rare and hard to find, but in general, Kamikazes are a really good price, man, and they sit and they sit and they sit. So, you know, if you're a real retro fan, you gotta get it. You gotta get a pair of these, man. The booty squeeze test is exceptional on here. You got a lot of meat here to just, you know, hold on to the back of your ankle and foot. And these are one of the illest shoes in the illest colorway you can find. And, you know, I want Reebok to retro these if they can, and give me one of these and maybe a red suede. Who knows? Even though I'm not a big fan of red suede. But now, as you can see, I have the OG box here. Let's see what the box has for us. Box reads Kamikaze 2 mid 10.5 USA, men's Blackflash red and white, even though I don't see any white on the shoe. But anyways, OG Reebok box, and this is different from the new Kamikaze boxes that they have that have the zigzag design all over it. This is definitely a throwback retro box. This is just what the Reeboks used to come in back them times, man. Now, as for sizing, I obviously went up half a size, but if you do get a suede version of the Kamikaze 2s, I actually recommend going true to size, because in reality, I mean, you only really need to go up half a size when it comes to shoes that are not wide-footed, and these Kamikazes are built for wide footers, man. Look how big that entry is. You really don't even have to unlace the shoe to put your foot in. So these are also a fan amongst skater shoes and people that like to skate, because, you know, they have that skater-esque kind of feel to it. Big flappy tongue here, and, you know, the new versions don't actually have such wide of a tongue. It's actually a lot more narrow, and this area here is more narrow as well. So, you know, if if you guys like the older Kamikazes that came before 2020, these might be for you, man, because there is a difference between these and the other pairs, and I'll show you another pair just to compare for you guys. All right, so here I have my black and white Kamikaze 2s that are actually suede, and it's a little bit of a different feel on these than the other joints. And of course, once again, they're very similar shoes, but there is a difference in build quality. The main difference being the tongues of the shoes. Now, I've really unlaced these, and basically it's just one of those things, man. It depends on the type of materials that you like. Now, you can see a little bit of a difference in the branding here on the tongue. This one has a much shorter pull tab. This one has a longer pull tab. And to tell you the truth, one thing I've noticed about Reeboks is it seems that their logos are getting less and less sharp. Now, if you look at this logo, it basically, you know, it's okay. It's okay. The stitching, if you hadn't had anything to compare it to, might seem really good until you get to this one where it's super sharp. I told you Reebok's branding is getting a little bit sloppy with the stitching. I don't know why. It's the same, should be the same machines stitching all this stuff, so it's not like it's a last that they gotta use from 10 years back. So I don't know what's going on there. Like, look at the stitching on this, man. It's really sharp, really sharp. So it's just one of those things, man. It's like over time, it seems like Reebok's starting to get a little bit sloppy with that stitching. It's not so laser cut. Either way, man, these are some solid colorways and you just can't go wrong. You know, if you guys missed the Kamikaze 2 review, it's actually out, and it's one of the first reviews I actually did on my channel, man. So make sure you guys go check that out. It's a fire video too. Now, if you guys remember my last Kamikaze Sean Kemp review, you'll remember that I told you guys that since Sean Kemp has retired, he's been a little bit busy. The man opened up a hemp shop. He opened up a weed shop, fam. You should have called it Kemp Hemp. That's what I was saying. If you guys have visited his dispensary, make sure you guys let me know in the comment section, man, because I ain't never been out to Seattle to go check out the dispensary. So if he's dip on the fire, you know what I mean? If he has that piff up, if he got that work, let me know in the comment section, man, because you already know I'm a weed man, eh? Now, don't ask me why it took me so long to do this pair of shoes, because Reeboks are these Reebok Kamikazes are one of my favorite shoes of all time. Definitely one of my favorite silhouettes. And, you know, when Sean Kemp used to play with these, I just couldn't help to look at his shoes no matter what he was doing. He's one of those shoes where you're searching for these on court when you know he's playing, because they're just so hard to miss, man. And the design is so, it's just crazy. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of the Kamikaze 2 Blackflash Reds in the comments section. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button in the back of the neck. It's free, fam. It's free. Helps out the algorithms and all that. So, you know, make sure you guys leave a comment and tell me if you guys even have one pair of Kamikazes in the closet, because if you don't, you ain't no retro fan. Sorry. Sean Kemp is a legend, fam. On Foot coming up next. Make sure you guys stay tuned, because I want you to see what these look like. Chances are you ain't gonna buy them because you can't find them, but I still want to show you what they look like in case you somehow find a pair and you want to put them on foot. So without further ado, let's head to the On Foot, fam. Perfect.